The views expressed in this interview are those of the individuals and do not reflect the official policy or position of the U.S. government, the Department of Defense, the U.S. Navy, or the Naval Postgraduate School. Welcome to the Trident Room, brewer of stout conversation, unfiltered and on tap. On today's episode, senior producer Sara Dixon sits down with the Love Shack's Chef Loveday.
So, good morning. Welcome to the Trident Room podcast. I am Sara Dixon, today's host, and our guest today is Chef Loveday, the chef of the Del Monte Cafe. And Chef Loveday was born in the Seychelles in 1957. And for those of you like me who didn't know where the Seychelles are, the Seychelles is an archipelago of 115 islands in the Indian Ocean, off the east coast of Africa, north of Madagascar. So I learned something today.
Great.
He grew up there and came to San Jose, California in 1980. While in the Seychelles, he served in the Army. And he moved to Santa Maria and started working for a car dealership in customer service for his first job in the United States. Chef Loveday always had the dream to become a U.S. citizen, and his dream finally came true in 2012. So
Yes.
Congratulations, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Chef Loveday has been a cook at the Bayonet and Blackhorse golf courses, as well as he has worked with Celebrity Food Network chefs in places like Carmel, Pebble Beach, Beverly Hills, and Los Angeles, and has built his career on those experiences.
Yes, I did.
And then our very own NPS Chef Loveday is famous around the world for being the one to see when anyone from abroad arrives at NPS. So when we ever have international guests, they come to see Chef Loveday. And why? Because of the delicious meals he serves, which I can attest for, having been a visitor of the Del Monte Cafe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's those things like that. It really make me excited with my life when I do things for people, because I've been growing up with a large amount of family. My father had 18 of us.
Wow, 18 kids from your father.
So, but that's not only with one mom. So, but we're still brothers and sisters no matter what.
Yep, still family.
So, but my family has been spread around the world. So, and it is, some of them I never met before. But I'm starting to catch up with them, but they're through Facebook. I went overseas. I've been to Australia and met some of them. So, it's a thing about my parents, especially my father, always help people, no matter what, because it's going to be always come back to you someday. And I believe it's a true statement. So, and that's what I've been doing at MPS also. When I worked for the dealership, I did that. That's why they put me in that job. They offered me that job because once at the dealership, the owner came up to me and says, "We cannot get nobody to understand our customers when they're upset." He said, "It sounds like you are." I says, "How do you know that?" He says, "I think people stop and listen to you because you have that heavy accent, which is the French accent." He said, "People kind of instead be mad and they mellow down a little bit, just be able to hear because the accent, and it make them smile and come down a little bit, and then we can discuss the problem and make it, So that's one of the things, I did it at the dealership when I worked. He gave me the job and I took it. And I ride that wave with it till I left. But MPS is a total different world for me because when I first started MPS, it was just like, I felt like I said, back into military active duty. I'm not, but I feel like the way that's it is. I'm serving back to them.
So that was one of my questions is, did you find NPS or did NPS find you?
The executive chef was here. I used to be working with underneath his wing everywhere he goes. Bayonet Blackhorse was one of the places, and then the Carmel Valley, the Hacienda Carmel, was another place he recruited me. So because most of the time that's what a chef move around. If you're a good sous chef and stuff like that, and then they bring you along with them, so they build you, make you better. So he introduced me to NPS. So that's what I came on
So
board.
he came here as the executive chef. You were his sous chef. And then you grew, as his time to move on from NPS and he left, you grew and became the executive chef.
Yes.
Yes.
That's correct.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. And now I'm finally retired.
I know. Yeah, we're here to celebrate Chef Loveday because he is retiring from Naval Postgraduate School on 31 August 2023. And
Yes.
that's after how many years?
I calculated. Well, I can calculate. I believe it's what 22, but the whole which is all the sick leave I had built.
Yes.
He went into my retirement, so it put me to 23 years service
Wow.
in with the Navy here at NPS. So, and I'm pretty proud of that.
That is definitely something to be proud
I
of.
wasn't one kind of person to always call sick, abuse your sick leave, and do this and do that. That I didn't expect I'm going to have that much sick leave in the book. When I saw it, I was like, "Whoa, this is amazing." Because most people use it and then you run out. And I even donate some during COVID time.
Wow.
So, and it was one of those things I wanted to do, so I donate some of my sick leave.
So what was the journey from customer service at the car dealership for your first job in the United States to becoming a chef, a sous chef that was on the Food Network?
I feel customer service is no matter where you are, what you do, any job, business, or whatever you do, it's customers is always there. But me, I took that customer service to bring it to NPS and to continue build that customer service to the men and women served for our country. And when I say men and women also, and I do not forget all the rest of men and women in a uniform, which that's policemen, fire department, nurses, doctors, teacher in school, all that. They all serving. I did the same thing. I'm doing the same thing. I'm serving back and give them the best service I could in their life.
And service through the food.
To the food.
And the delicious food that you make.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. So how I actually found out that you were retiring, one of my friends attended one of your Corks and Forks nights. That, my understanding is you started this Corks and Forks event here at NPS. And so she attended and she loved it. She spoke highly of it. So can you tell us about how you started Corks and Forks and what you enjoyed about the experience of doing these Corks and Forks events?
Cork and Fork, when I was director, I was working strictly underneath before this director, and I first came on board, and after I was here for a while, and the executive chef was here, and then we would sit down and talk about a little bit about pairing. Okay, so what I did, and I got involved with a tasting room. Okay, because I want to know a little bit about wine, and I wasn't a wine guy. I was strictly a beer kind of guy, but I pushed myself into that because to be a chef, I want to know how I can pair it. Okay, so when I started learning about the wine and stuff like that, and then I came back one week and I sit down with the executive chef, and I proposed that to him, and I said, "Hey, I said maybe we should create a wine pairing here," and he said, "Oh well, now we can talk to the director, which is a big boss, and we'll see what we can do," and we went forward with it, and it came back like it was too much work. It's just like, well, it is and that. And I said, okay, it's, but I was always throwing back in the bucket, throwing back in that basket, and I always say something and throw in the basket. Hey, we should do this, we should do that. And behind back in my mind also what I was planning to do with the previous director we had, which was Megan Ryan, great lady. Okay, she's the one hired me, of course. And right behind the ladies' room, that room called
The Diamante room?
that small little room. Yes.
Yeah.
When I saw that little room, and it automatically opened my eyes, I'm just like, that can be a perfect spot to have a wine bar, a tasting room. That way we can bring all the spouse, after a long day with the kids from home, and I still remember that. After a long day with the kids from home, and you give them a break. The husband goes home, or it could take out the kids from school, and then the spouse can come back and sit down, enjoy a nice glass of wine, and I can talk about the wine. I can present the wine to make them feel again the morale, the relief from home, from pressure. Husband is school, having a hard time. They sacrifice themselves to be home with the kids. They need that break.
Absolutely, they do.
So it was all from my heart and my feeling I have, the love I have to be able to do that, which again go back to customer service. It is a service to do, to give back to them.
Absolutely. So is somebody going to continue on Corks and Forks even after you leave MPS? Is Corks and Forks going to continue?
It will continue, but before I will answer that question, and then to make it Cork and Fork start, and then when Captain Wiley arrived in Monterey for our CO, and then Carl Rhodes, which is my direct boss, okay, and they went around and visit every facility, which is the Love Shack was one, okay, and they came back. We sat outside and with the executive chef and asked me all these questions about how's the business going and so on, and I expressed that, okay, and Captain Wiley turned around and said, "Yes, I heard so much about you before I came here to be the CEO of the base." because he came from China late.
Wow.
So, and I said, well, thank you, sir, for all, good thing you're here. And so, and then as we talked and stuff like that, and I came up Cork and Fork again. Come to find out Captain Wiley is a local guy from Soledad. His parent owned a farm down there. They still do. So he knows about wine. He knows about the local wine, the local everything. So I brought it up to him, okay? And he turned around and told me, he says, well, we need to talk to Kyle Wordis, see if we can do that. We did. And then, of course, he says, yes, let's do it. Let's try it, see how far we can go with it. And we did. And then and I was really pushing it to make it happen. And I think it came out to be very good and very successful. And I was told also from my boss and stuff like that, people come to Cork and Fork because of me. I did not believe that. Tell you the truth, I did not. So after a few months ago, and when people start know I'm going to leave, and they came back to me and says, Chef, it says, we come to that Cork and Fork is because of you. It's who you are. The food's always good, and you always have a smile on your face, and you always come around and greet people and talk to anybody. He says, that's why we come. He said, otherwise, we will never come. We will do once, maybe probably come back again. He said, but you do such a wonderful job. That's why we keep on coming. And that's why there's a repeat of same customer over and over. Then we add more new one too. And we're getting very successful with it. To go back, what you asked me earlier about that, if it will continue, yes, it will be. What are they talking to me right now? And they're talking to keep me here as a part-timer to focus on Cork and Fork.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
And I did say yes, but we didn't come to an agreement yet.
Okay.
So if hopefully either this week or next week, I'm going to sit down with them. We're going to discuss the whole thing, see how we're going to make that happen.
So hopefully a temporary pause in the hosting of Cork and Forks while you work through what your part-time schedule looks like based on what NPS wants for Cork and Forks to continue. But hopefully we'll see Corks and Forks continue in the future.
Yes, it will continue, and because it's a program. The CEO and Kyle, of course, and they don't want to let get rid of it because people have so much fun in that event. See,
Yes, I've heard it's a wonderful time.
where were you?
I will admit I have not attended some events like that because for me personally, I see it as like a very good date night to go with my husband to an event. And unfortunately, my husband's not stationed here with me. He is stationed down in San Diego.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
I have not gone to Corks and Forks because I personally don't really want to go by myself. And some of my friends, they don't really drink wine the same way I do. So, but I will, if there's another one before I leave here, then I will absolutely come.
Okay. Oh, that's good. I mean, it's not everybody, like I said, sometimes it's not for everybody who want to go. Some people don't drink. And some people, either the husband don't drink wine, the wife does. And that's why they, okay, I don't go because he doesn't drink wine, try to please. Which the whole thing about that, I really understand because I've been in the wine business for so long. And I've been in the food business for 30 plus in the food business. So, and I really enjoy what I do with food, because it's passion, very passion. You have to love what you do to create a nice meal because food is a comfort for people. It makes people happy. A lot of people probably don't know that, or if they do, they don't want to say anything about it. To go back about make people happy, I've been having a lot of students every single graduation, okay, or right before the graduation, come up to me and tell me, Chef, the hard time we are going to go to class at MPS is very, very hard. It's very difficult. You make us go through it because of your food and your smile. You give it back to us.
Yes.
That, it's special for me. It's very, very special for me.
I think that leads into the Love Shack and the story behind the nickname of the Del Monte Cafe. So for the listeners who are new to MPS that arrived in July of 2023, they unfortunately didn't get to see the Love Shack because it was gone.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough for my first year here, the little shack. I don't know how else to describe it besides, it was a little shack in the courtyard outside of the MPS Foundation Cottage and the Dudley Knox library.
Mm-hmm.
That was the Del Monte Cafe before the ground was broken, and now we have this very beautiful structure of the Del Monte Cafe in the courtyard. So I'm interested in hearing the story of the Love Shack nickname from Chef Loveday himself.
It's the Love Shack. Okay, when I first started the Cafe Del Monte, and before I come to Love Shack, the director before that came up to me with the executive chef, said, "Hey, we're gonna do a Cafe Del Monte. It's a trailer. We're gonna put it out there and say it's a kitchen. It's going to be very small, and we would like you to run it." And I says, "Well, we need to discuss the whole thing about that because I'm going to be in charge of it. So we'll go through the whole process. I'm going to try to make that a little short." And I said, "Oh, yeah, I will go ahead and do it." And then I did, and I got involved into Cafe Del Monte. And then the menu was very basic, easy, just like a cold sandwich, a salad, and a cheeseburger, and a chicken sandwich, and that's it. And inside Cafe Del Monte, we have a small area where we serve Starbucks also, which is, I know about Starbucks, cover that. And as we were going with business, and every client come back to me, including the professor, the faculty and stuff. They come up to his shop. He goes, we missed the Thai hat because the Thai hat used to be, he has a trailer. Every single day comes in, comes go out. He said, "Can you create like a curry? Can you create this? Can you create that?" I'm from the Seychelles Island. We eat a lot of curry. We do a lot of curry. And I said, "I don't have a problem with that. I can make it happen." And I did. And I create all that meal and make it happen. Okay, and build it. Okay. After that, and a lot of people says, always ask me about my name. I says, it's Loveday, and then people says, never heard it, or it's a great name, and then so on and so on. I say yes, and then somebody came up and says, why you don't name this place after you? I says, I can't, because that's belong to the Navy. I cannot change that. They put Cafe Del Monte. I said, no, maybe you should, because like a nickname, And so I went to, and I said, okay. I checked into it. I said, I'm not going to say nothing to my boss, and I'm going to make a surprise, like as a joke. So I went to the marketing, and one afternoon late, and then she was there, and I walked in. I talked to her. I said, yes, I would like to propose that too. Can you make me a banner? And she goes, for what? It's for. And I said, it's for Cafe Del Monte. He said, what do you want to say? And she was Filipino, okay? And then I said, well, we would like to rename, we would make a joke, and I'll put a banner and wrap around where you say Cafe Del Monte, and called the Love Shack. And she laughed, she think it was funny,
Yeah.
and she said, well, I'll make it happen. She said, well, I do it tomorrow night, come back and pick it up. And I said, but don't say nothing to the director and nobody else. It's just me and you. And then I went back and picked it up. But when she wrote it, she didn't put the Love Shack. She called it the Love Shock.
Oh, no.
So somebody caught it and brought it back to me and was like, hey, this is wrong. I was like, what do you mean? He said, yeah, it's a Love Shock, not Love Shack. I was like, so I went back with Chris, so we make a big joke out of it. We'll laugh. So, but that Love Shack started because of my name, the Loveday. Okay, and it was a little shack, a little trailer, and it was just, I just came up and said, might as well just make the Love Shack, because student was telling name after you. And I said, Love Shack.
I love that.
Okay, and that's how it came up to be the Love Shack. So, and there's a little bit more I can tell you about it, probably in the next question you ask me. And, but
Yeah.
people throughout the world know the shack at MPS.
Yes. I only knew it as the name, the Love Shack. When somebody was like, oh, the Del Monte Cafe, I was like, oh, you mean the ground they're breaking, this new building? And they're like, well, that's technically the name of the Love Shack. I was like, no. I was like, it's just the Love Shack to me. Yeah. But I have heard that now that we have the beautiful big structure that is now the Del Monte Cafe, that it's no longer a shack, so we can't call it the Love Shack anymore.
No.
I've heard, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on hearing this rumor, but the word on the street is that it's the Love Chateau.
Yes, voilà.
Yeah, voila.
Ça, c'est Chateau. Et en français, c'est Chateau,
You say it way better than I do. I do not speak French, but I love that name. I am definitely going to continue to spread the Love Chateau. I think that's a beautiful legacy for you to have after your 23 years here at NPS.
Thank you. I think it is, because I think that's what people is looking for, and people is not looking for a Cafe Del Monte.
We have the Hotel Del Monte. We have Del Monte Boulevard.
Yeah.
We have so many Del Montes here. We don't have enough Love Chateaus.
Yeah, and there's a lot of students, and also a lot of people tell me, you should have your name out there on the platform. Put your name. Your name is to be stay forever. I said, but that's not my decision. That's decision of the command. Right. What Navy want to do, so it's not mine. If they want to do it, come to me, ask me if it's okay to do it. Please go for it, because I think what I did at NPS, I cannot explain I just cannot explain what I did at NPS.
Thanks for joining us in the Trident Room. For more information about today's guest and topics, please visit the show notes. The Trident Room podcast has been brought to you by the Naval Postgraduate School Alumni Association and Foundation. For questions, comments, and suggestions, please email us at tridentroompodcasthost@nps.edu and find us online at nps.edu/tridentroompodcast.